Okay, quick question. When you picture the Pope's main church in Rome, what's the first image that pops into your head? For pretty much everyone, it's the incredible St. Peter's Basilica, right? But what if I told you that the real heart of the Catholic world, the Pope's actual cathedral, is somewhere else entirely? A place with a much older and way more turbulent story. Let's get into it.
We're talking about the Archbasilica of St. John Lateran. While St. Peter's gets all the fame and the crowds, it's the Lateran that holds this incredible, superior title. It's not just another big church in Rome. It is the Cathedral of Rome. And this isn't some hidden secret. They put it right out there for everyone to see. Carved into the front of the building is this powerful Latin inscription. It translates to the mother and head of all churches of the city and of the world. That's not just a fancy, symbolic phrase. It's a direct statement of its rank and its place in history.
So let's be super clear on this. St. Peter's is, of course, hugely important. It's where the Pope holds many major events, and it's built over St. Peter's tomb. But St. John Lateran is his official seat, his throne, or cathedra, which is where we get the word cathedral. As the Bishop of Rome, this is his church. And in the official hierarchy, it outranks every single other Catholic church on the planet. Yep, including St. Peter's.
Now, this title, a phoenix from the ashes, is just perfect. Because to survive for over 1,700 years, well, it hasn't been easy. This basilica has had a truly brutal history. It's been beaten down, smashed, burned, and yet it just keeps coming back.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It really puts the struggle into perspective. It all starts with Emperor Constantine back in 324. But then, fast forward to 897, a massive earthquake practically flattens it. Then, in the 1300s, it gets hit by not one but two terrible fires. Each time, they rebuilt it, adding new layers, leading to the grand Baroque interior and the massive facade we see today.
So when you stand in front of St. John Lateran today, you're not really looking at one building from one specific time. It's more like a mosaic of survival. That fancy front and the ornate interior are just the newest layers of paint on a structure that's been through it all. Its deepest, oldest stories are literally buried under all that reinvention.
And that brings us to the coolest part of this whole thing, the world that's hiding right under the floor. What we can see above ground is amazing, sure, but what's been buried for centuries tells an even more dramatic story about how this place even came to be. For a long time, archaeologists knew there was something more down there. But think about it. How do you excavate under a sacred, functioning cathedral? It's incredibly difficult. So for ages, the full story was a total mystery, just little bits and pieces found here and there.
This map here gives you an idea of just how complex it is under there. These are the spots they've actually been able to dig. And over the years, as they've explored this underground labyrinth, they've found all sorts of things. Parts of luxurious Roman houses, an old bath complex, and, most important of all, the foundations of a Roman military fort.
Okay, so let's break down these layers of history, because it's like a time travel sandwich. At the very bottom, back in the 1st century, you had fancy private homes. Then, around the late 2nd century, the emperor built the Castronova, a brand new fort for his personal elite horse guards. Now jump to 312 AD. Emperor Constantine wins a major battle, and guess who fought against him? Those same horse guards. So what does he do? He disbands them, takes their land, gives it to the church, and then builds his massive basilica right on top of their demolished barracks. Talk about a power move.
But here's the problem. Those excavations could only show so much. The complete layout of that fort was still a mystery because, again, you can't just tear up the Pope's cathedral. So how do you see what's underground without actually digging? Well, you use some seriously cool tech that gives you a kind of X-ray vision. It's called ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, and the ultrasound for the ground analogy is perfect. A machine sends harmless radar pulses down into the earth. When those pulses hit something solid, like an old wall or a buried floor, they bounce back. A computer collects all those echoes and uses them to build a 3D map of everything hidden down there. It's amazing, and not a single shovel is needed. So, a team of scientists brought their GPR gear right into St. John Lateran. They basically mowed the lawn, so to speak, scanning huge areas of the main hall inside the church and the public square right outside, sending those radar waves down to hunt for the ghost of that old Roman fort. And what does the raw data look like? Well, this. It might just look like a bunch of wavy lines on a screen, but you see those bright spots? Those are the echoes. They're reflections bouncing off something solid buried deep in the ground. And when you combine thousands and thousands of these individual scans, you can build a full picture. And when they put it all together, the result was just breathtaking. They found it. The ghost in the machine, a complete, detailed outline of a massive Roman building that was deliberately wiped off the map almost 1,700 years ago. Get a load of this. This right here is the GPR map from about 1.5 meters down. This is not a drawing. It's a direct image created by radar waves. You can so clearly see the sharp, geometric shapes of rooms, hallways, courtyards. This is the Castra Nova, the barracks of the Imperial Horse Guards, seen in their entirety for the first time since Constantine buried them. This is just such a perfect example of what this technology can do. It connects all the pieces of the puzzle. We went from a common misunderstanding about which church is the Pope's cathedral all the way to uncovering the physical proof of its dramatic, politically charged origin story. A Christian basilica built literally on top of a defeated enemy. So let's just do a quick recap of this incredible journey. We learned that St. John Lateran, not St. Peter's, is the true mother church. We saw that its current look is the result of a long, violent history of being destroyed and rebuilt. And we discovered that it sits right on top of a Roman fort, a secret that modern technology like GPR is finally bringing to light after 1,700 years. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a secret this big, an entire Roman fort, can hide in plain sight under one of the most famous places in the world, what other lost worlds are still down there, waiting to be discovered right under the streets we walk on every single day?